أشرف الأنام كلهم
محمد محمد
خير من يمشي على قدمي
محمد محمد
باسط المعروف جامعه
محمد محمد
صاحب الإحسان والكرم
محمد محمد
تاج رسل الله قاطبة
محمد محمد
صادق الأقوال والكلم
محمد محمد
ثابت الميثاق حافظه
محمد محمد
طيب الأخلاق والشيم
محمد محمد
رويت بالنور تينته
محمد محمد
لم يزل نورا من القدم
محمد محمد
حاكم بالعدل ذو شرف
محمد محمد
معدن الإنعام والحكم
محمد محمد
خير رسل الله كلهم
محمد محمد
دينه حق ندين به
محمد محمد
عالم حقا على عالمي
محمد محمد
ذكره روح لأنفسنا
محمد محمد
شكره فرض على الأمم
محمد محمد
زينة الدنيا وبهجتها
محمد محمد
كاشف الغمات والظلام
محمد محمد
سيد جلت مناقبه
محمد محمد
صغه الرحمن بالنعم
محمد محمد
صفوة الباري وخيراته
محمد محمد
طاهر من سائر التهم
محمد محمد
ضاحك للضيف مكرمه
محمد محمد
جاره والله لم يضمي
محمد محمد
طابت الدنيا ببعثته
محمد
جاء بالآيات والحكم
محمد محمد
يوم بعث الناس شافعنا
محمد محمد
نوره يهديك في الظلم
محمد محمد
قائم لله ذو همم
محمد محمد
نوره يهديك في الظلم
محمد محمد
يا محمد يا رسول الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. ICI beloved community, السلام عليكم. Alhamdulillah, today we'll resume our ICI trivia. It's going to be weekly inshallah, every Saturday from 7 to 7:30, 7:15 to 7:45, something like that. Please forgive us for some technical issues. We are not the expert on that. So welcome all the family, inshallah. We'll start in a few minutes. Before we start, just to let you know that this is going to be a weekly, and we want also, if you can spread the word to your friend, text your friend, or WhatsApp, or email, or Facebook. So inshallah, the whole idea is to create some competitivity between the families and the kids, so we can enjoy our summer break, inshallah, all together as families. جزاكم الله خير. We'll start in a few seconds, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back. We're excited to kickstart this program again after having done it every day in Ramadan. It's good to see everyone again. So we're going to do 10 questions every Saturday at 7 p.m. So like my father said, please spread the word for this program. We want to do better prizes for you guys, and the more people we get, the more better prizes we can provide. So please spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your families, spread it within your circles about this program, especially if you enjoy it and you think it's a good program. Please do so, inshallah. For the first question for today, who said this? قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي. Who said that? Abdul Muqsit is right. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is the one who said this. So Abdul Muqsit for question number 1 is the winner. Okay. So second question. List the surahs that start with Qul. List the surahs that start with Qul. Okay, Arwa Siddiqui is right. You said it in 2 different answers, but you said it before everyone else. So the surahs are Ikhlas, Falaq, Nas, Kafirun, and Jinn. So Arwa Siddiqui is the winner for question number 2. Question number 3. Here we're asking you to fill the blanks. So there's 3 animals, 3 living things that are mentioned in the blanks. So we're going to recite the ayah for you. Tell us what these 3 things are, and tell us who is receiving the punishment mentioned in this verse. So tell us what the 3 things are, fill in the blank. Tell us who is receiving this punishment mentioned in the ayah, and tell us which surah this is. So I'll repeat these 3 things that we're looking for after reciting the ayah.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والدم وآيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين.
So the wa was the 3 things that we need you to fill the blanks in for.
You want me to say it another time? Okay, so you have to fill the blank in wa, and wa. So and. فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والدم وآيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين. So you have to tell us the 3 living that they fill in the blank, the punishment to which people and which surah this verses is.
Also include the surah, please.
أشرف الأنام كلهم خير من يمشي على قدمي
So a little bit hint, some of you are getting the right answer, but not the fully answer. So if you say Banu Israel is not totally correct, so figure out something else. So we got the right answer from Brother Ubaida. So what we are looking for is the people of Fir'aun. Why? Because if you say Banu Israel, both Sayyidina Musa and the criminal Fir'aun, both they belong to Bani Israel. So when you say the people who are punished are the people of Fir'aun because they followed Fir'aun and they were punished by these locusts, frogs, lice, blood. So, and the surah is Al-A'raf. Jazakumullahu khair. Thank you. So let me read the full answer in Arabic. فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والجراد والقمل والضفادع والدم آيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين. And if you see the previous verses to this, it's and we certainly seized the people of Pharaoh with years of famine and the deficiency in fruit that perhaps they would be reminded. Then this surah, so we sent upon them the flood and the locust and the lice and frogs and blood as a distinct sign, but they were arrogant and were a criminal people.
Okay, so that's the full answer that we're looking for. So Ubaida Hussein is correct. So we're going to move on to the next question. So we've done 3. This should be number 4. So tell us which 2 parties are in dialogue in this ayah and which surah that it's in. So who is speaking with who in this ayah and what surah is it in?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق فأت بها من المغرب فبهت الذي كفر والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق فأت بها من المغرب فبهت الذي كفر والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين.
So who's speaking with who in this ayah and what surah?
باسط المعروف جامعه
محمد محمد
صاحب الإحسان والكرم
محمد محمد
تاج رسل الله قاطبة
محمد محمد
صادق الأقوال والكلم
محمد محمد
ثابت الميثاق حافظه
محمد محمد
طيب الأخلاق والشيم
محمد محمد
رويت بالنور تينته
So we got the right answer from Brother Abdul Muqsit again. So the surah is Surah Al-Baqarah. The verse is in Surah Al-Baqarah. And the dialogue is between Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and the arrogant Namrud. So, you know, the story is that when Sayyidina Ibrahim, he challenged the Namrud, he told him that, Inna Allah yuhyi wa yumit, Allah can give life and can give death. So the Namrud, he came and he said, me too, I can do that. I can bring somebody, 2 people, one I kill him and one I leave him free. So it means that So Sayyidina Ibrahim is the most prophet at that time that he has high reason and logic. So he told him, if that's your logic, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring the sun from the east and it goes down from the west. So can you inverse this pattern that Allah made it for the sun? So فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرْ, it means that he's nowhere. He's lost. He cannot find any answer to this logic of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. So always the truth prevail. Doesn't matter how the transgressor or the arrogant or the criminal use what kind of logic they use, but at the end always they lost. Jazakumullahu khair.
So powerful lesson there. No matter what kind of debate or argument that people make, Islam and Allah's message is always going to prevail. So next question. We want you to tell us who is the artist, nasheed artist in this video.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا.
Okay, we got a right answer from Hassan Naim. Native Deen, that's correct. They're the nasheed artists in the video. And it's called Native Deen, Mercy to Mankind. So we want you to tell us who is addressing who in this.
So this is hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasul sallallahu he was addressing somebody, and who is this somebody? So يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لن ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك ولو اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لن يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك ورفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is addressing whom in this hadith? So we have the right answer from Brother Yasser Tarahil. So it's Ibn Abbas. So this, okay. So let me just explain, and then Badees will read the full hadith. In this teaching us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can harm you except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide, and nobody can benefit you except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide. So we are under His protection. Go ahead, Badees.
Yes, so just to say again, Yasser Tharayil. Sorry, Yasser Tharayil is the winner for this question. So yeah, I'm just going to read the translation of the hadith. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told Ibn Abbas, "O young man, I shall teach you some words of advice. Be mindful of Allah and Allah will protect you. Be mindful of Allah and you will find Him in front of you. If you ask, then ask Allah alone. And if you seek help, then seek help from Allah alone. And know that if the nation were to gather to benefit you with anything, they would not benefit you except with what Allah has already prescribed for you. And if they were to gather together to harm you with anything, they would not harm you except with what Allah has already prescribed against you. The pens have been lifted and the pages have dried." So, yeah, it's teaching you that, rely on Allah alone and nobody can hurt you except with what Allah has already decreed. And no one can give you anything, no one can benefit you except with what Allah has already decreed. So don't fall for anything from other people because they're not the one who's giving you. Okay. So the next question, tell us who the speaker is in this video.
So many. And Ali radiallahu anh, he asked the Prophet ﷺ a question. He said, Ya Rasulullah, فَمَا الْمَخْرَجُ مِنْهَا? How can we get out of it? He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallu ala al-habib, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. He said, Kitabullah. Kitabullah. We read it every day. We have it. No one else has it. We have it. We know it is true. We know it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah have preserved it for 1400 years ago. 1400 years. So we have it. So to focus, and everybody is snatching you or me or us from all over the place. So this friend, his name is Al-Maruzi. Al-Maruzi.
I think we have the winner. What's his name?
Muhammad Ibrahim Zubair.
So we have brother Muhammad Ibrahim Zubair. The speaker is our brother Munzir Talib. And this khatira, he gave this khatira a few months back at ICI after Maghrib or after Isha.
Okay, next question.
So we are asking, this is also advice from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I want to read it in Arabic, and you tell me what is this about. أكثروا من ذكر هادم اللذات. أكثروا من ذكر هادم اللذات.
So tell us, what is this about?
So I think you should have some Arabic understanding, and I assume that most of the people who are following, they should have some Arabic understanding. That's why I read in Arabic. So أكثروا هادم اللذات. أكثروا, it's فعل. It's an order. من ذكري, mentioning. هادم اللذات, it's an attribute for the death. So I think Brother Ubaida is the one who got Ubaida Hussein is the one who got it right. So the whole idea is that you have to remember death. Why? Because it makes you link to the Akhirah and then you think about the akhirah, then you start thinking about what kind of amal that you present to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of the akhirah. So that's why you have to mention death. So Brother Ubaidah is the right one.
Okay, so next question. I'm going to say a quote, and I want you to tell us who said this. So the quote is, "A calamity that makes you turn to Allah is better for you than a blessing which makes you forget the remembrance of Allah." A calamity that makes you turn to Allah is better for you than a blessing which makes you forget the remembrance of Allah.
لم يزل نورا من القدم حاكم بالعدل ذو شرف
Okay, so Safiya Muhammad got it right. Ibn Taymiyyah is the one who said this quote. So Safiya Muhammad is the winner. Okay, everyone, we're on our final question for today. Just want to remind everyone to come back every Saturday, 7 p.m., and spread the word about this program, especially if you think it's a good program. Tell your family and friends to tune in with us every Saturday at 7 p.m. And the more people we get, the better prizes we'll be able to provide.
So did you notice that this is not only question and answer, we are also teaching each other about our Islam. So the meaning of the question is always explained for a reason that we want you to learn something. So if you see this, it's beneficial, spread the word, and in the same time, give us your feedback. Jazakumullah khair.
Yeah, even personally, I've learned a lot just by helping to be a host of this program. So I can attest just personally that this program is really teaching us a lot. Even if we don't know the answers, just by listening and seeing what the correct answers are, we are increasing our knowledge. Okay, so we wanted to save this question for the end because we wanted to wait for people to come. But this question is about current affairs. I wanted to preface it by mentioning how we feel personally about what happened. What happened is our brother in humanity, George Floyd, was murdered by police officers in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's very unfortunate and sad that in our country and today that these things continue to happen. And I think personally that it's the responsibility of all of us to speak out against racism and police brutality, and to use our votes in local and national elections to fix the broken systems in our country. And I want to stress local elections because these things, they are changed by local elections. The police chief can be voted in or out, and the local city council people can change local laws. So it's very important for us to be involved in these local laws. And I want to mention the hadith, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Whosoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. If he's not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he's not able to do so, then let him hate it in his heart. And that is the weakest of faith." So what are some things we can do? I think we should all communicate with our families, with our friends, and think about what can we do to really change this problem that we see in our country. So if you cannot change it with your hand, then change it with your tongue. Go speak out, change people's views on the problem, and make sure everybody is on board to fixing the problem. And the least we can do is to hate this problem within our own hearts. So the question is, what was Barack Obama's request to the leaders of local governments in America regarding this problem? He had a very powerful statement that people should read. But in his statement, what was his request to the leaders of local governments in our country?
معدن الإنعام والحكم
محمد
خير رسل الله كلهم
محمد
دينه حق ندين به
محمد
عالم حقا على عالمين ذكره روح.
Okay, so I got a right answer from Mohammed Zubair. So Barack Obama's specific advice and request to the mayors of our country and leaders in local government was to review their use of force policies and also to be more transparent with the members of the community on these policies and to commit to fixing these problems. So he's basically calling on local governments to make sure that the local citizens have a say in the local laws and to be transparent with those laws. So, and that's one way that if we have a bigger voice, then we can definitely change these things.
So let me just explain that Brother Badees, he mentioned the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you see a devil or something wrong, you should change it with your hand, if not with your tongue, if not with your heart, which is the least. So the ulama, they divided in three. One is you change with your hand, and the changing with the hand should be only given to the government. They are the one when they see something wrong, they have to. So for the people, they have only two options. One is by the tongue, and one is by the heart. By the tongue, it means like what he said, Badees, is you go, you dispute, you go for a protest, you write articles, you raise your voice, you give a khutbah, you write an articles. All these are tongue. So, and the least is with your heart. That if you cannot do all this, you can say, you can make dua for the people who are aggressed. You can make dua on the aggressor. You can at least that's if you cannot move, if you can say something with your. So Islam is a dynamic religion. It's not something that you should be silent, and nobody should silence you. And the only way is to talk right at the right time. And Jazakumullah khair. So we are going to wrap up, inshallah. See you next Saturday. Jazakumullah khair. We need your feedback, and we need you to spread the word to your family and the WhatsApps to the brothers and the sisters, so we can meet, inshallah, next time with a bigger number, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallahu fikum.
Jazakallah khair for tuning in today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you next week, inshallah.